alt season will not happen and Bitcoin will fall below $40,000. Or alt season is gonna eventually happen, but when? Let's try to find out. The market continues to fall as I predicted a couple of months ago that the market maker would send Bitcoin up and altcoins will be getting cheaper. But now I can say that we're near the bottom and the market will reverse pretty soon. I'll show you the most promising altcoins and tell you why you should pay attention to them on the eve of the bull market. We have two scenarios of crypto market development for the next 2 months. The first scenario is that in the next couple of weeks Bitcoin will fall and its price will be below $50,000. Altcoins are gonna drop once again by 50–40%, and then there'll be months of sideways trend so that most market participants are gonna lose faith in the altcoin season and sell their alts. And the second scenario implies that altcoins are already at the bottom and can possibly fall by 15–20% in the worst case scenario. And they're gonna go sideways where major players will buy out the remaining issue of tokens. Next up, I'll show you the altcoins that I started buying and I'll reveal my strategy. The first altcoin I expect a lot of access from is TIA. This is the fundamental Layer 1 project on which all Layer 3 projects are built, and in the previous videos I explained why Layer 3 is one of the narratives of the future bull market. Celestia gave out a generous airdrop in the fall of 2023 and immediately bought all the tokens from the airdrop back, after which big players sent the token to the moon, and TIA went up 8 times from $2.5 to $20. This is an indicator that Celestia has a good market maker. Let's remember that Tier 1 funds such as Binance Labs, Polychain Capital, Jump Crypto, Coinbase invested in TIA. We can see that the team managed to buy back the issue and they can manipulate the price as they wish. Let's also pay attention to the capitalization of the project. Now the capitalization of the project is about $1 billion, but it should be noted that on October 31st, the capitalization of the project will at least double up, as there will be a major token unlock. I expect that if there's a final drawdown so that everyone is disappointed and sells the token, I expect that the TIA token may fall to $3.5 where it'll bottom out. So buying at current prices won't be a mistake. And how many X's am I expecting in a bull market from Celestia? Let's take the most bearish scenario that there will be a weak alt season, not like in 2021. I expect the token to rise to at least $60, where I will not be greedy and sell 50% of the tokens because at $60 the capitalization of the project will be more than $40 billion. If you want to keep up to date with the actual drops, then subscribe to my Telegram channel. There I still show you all my trades. The next altcoin is IMX. I'm adding this token to my project as it's a bet on the play-to-earn sector, which is already one of the main narratives. Also remember that the top game Illuvium runs on IMX, and in general it's the only ecosystem that is alive and growing. Now let's take a look at the project's tokenomics. IMX has raised over $298 million. And most importantly, there was an additional fundraising of $200 million in March 2022 at a token price of about $2. And now the token is trading around $1. Also, we can see that the project had an additional fundraising in December 2023, which means that the project has money to manipulate the token's price. Also, if we open Arkham, we can see that IMX has money and they didn't spend it on nonsense. The IMX token has been moving between $0.4 and $1.2 for 2 years, where big players were buying back the issue. After the fall of 2023, the token grew 6 times, from $0.6 to $3.6, and you'd think it was a distribution zone, but it wasn't, as we see that there was additional fundraising. I assume it won $2, so the funds were selling all the tokens at $3. And also, if we look at the trading volumes, we'll see that on the best days in February, it was $100 million trading volumes per day, which is quite small for such a project. Funds physically could not sell their tokens because there was no liquidity. So I will allocate 10% of my portfolio to the IMX token. I think that $1.2 is a good entry point, but we have to take into account that we may have another correction and the token may fall down to the zone of $0.7, $0.9, where I believe will be the absolute bottom of this coin. So I'll buy the IMX token at the current price for 50% of my allocated money for IMX, and 25% next 2 months to get a better average purchase price. If you liked the video, give it a like, it really helps me with the YouTube algorithms. The next token is the new Layer 2 project ZK. I'll explain why I'm waiting for this token to be manipulated and why I'm waiting for tens of X's. If we start analyzing the project from a technological point of view, it'll be a sad story because ZKSync has one of the weakest ecosystems among Layer 2 projects. We can see it by its TVL, which is about 80 million, and also that is in the 45th place, while its competitor Arbitrum is in the 5th place. But why do I think this project will give us a lot of money and it's more promising than other Layer 2 projects? Let's start with the fact that top funds such as A16Z, Variant Fund, Coinbase invested in ZKSync. And the project attracted $458 million, and obviously this money was not spent on the development of the ecosystem. It reminds me of Aptos project, which also raised a huge amount of money, and at first there was no ecosystem at all. And also I see ZKSync and Aptos have the same model of manipulation. It happened with Aptos and now with ZK. Initially, about 15–20% of all coins only are traded in the market, and the nearest token unlock is only in a year. On ZK, we see that the nearest token unlock is in a year, which means big players are not in full control of the issue, as ZK gave out a very small airdrop. And I'm waiting for the same manipulation as it happened with Aptos, when they gave out airdrop and bought back these tokens and then sent the price to the moon, because the nearest token unlock is expected in a year. Aptos price rose 5 times, from $4 to $20 after the project listing, and it should be taken into account that it was in the middle of the bear market. And now we're about to have an alt season, and I expect that the token can easily grow 20, maybe 30 times. Since if we pay attention to the capitalization of the project, we'll see that it's only $420 million. And this is even less than the project's raised money. I remind you that they have raised $458 million. And it turns out 20x from the current values is only $8 billion of capitalization, and at the same time, there are few people talking about this project. Therefore, I consider it the most undervalued project, and $0.1 per ZK I consider a good price. Given that the project originally came out at a small value since it was launched in June, and initially the price should have been a couple times higher. The next altcoin is for thrill lovers. I'm talking about FTX. Many will say that it's long forgotten and no one needs the asset, but it's not the case at all. Let's start with the fact that recently there was a huge event that no one knows about. FTX has settled the lawsuit of the US tax administration for $24 billion, and FTX has to pay only $885 million. Also, recently, the court approved a $12.7 billion settlement agreement between FTX and the CFTC. FTX agreed to pay $8.7 billion to defrauded investors in the form of restitution and an additional $4 billion as restitution for illegally obtained profits. FTX reminds me of the story with General Motors. If you have no clue about the story with General Motors, then Google it. If we look at the chart, we'll see that the trading volume of tokens is only a couple of tens of millions of dollars. This way, the FTX team cannot sell their tokens because there's no liquidity. We understand that FTX will pay all debts from its pocket, and the only way to recover these losses is to send the token price up during the alt season. But I'm telling you right away that I invested only 1%, and I'm gonna take profits when it grows 30 times from the current values. As for me, it's a good risk-reward. Write in the comments what do you think. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was useful.